What's the etiquette on this? Like, do you want me to have video going or what?
Oh, I don't care. I'm just gonna intro it, and then you
Okay.
do whatever you want. I guess
cool,
within YouTube guidelines.
Okay.
Hey, what's up, YouTube? Welcome to Play It Painted Live. I hope you guys are having a good. What is it?
Thursday?
If you want. Oh shit. How do I stop this? Oh, I see. I gotta. There we go. Jeebus. I was getting the playback playing in my head at the same time. Yeah.
I could kind of hear it coming through a little bit.
Yeah. It was the past was yelling at us. Which is like the whole
it's like,
point
damn,
of
he was
this.
already recording when I came in. Like, everything I say can and will be used against me.
But yeah, you can do video if you want. You don't have to. It doesn't matter.
Okay, cool.
I am, for those of you who are just tuning in, I was just explaining to Jake that I am painting old school Cassandra Felton. She has a last name now, Jake.
What?
Yeah.
Cassandra. Did she get married or something? I thought that she was like Madonna. She just like had one name.
Yeah, she was Cassandra when we played. But now she's Cassandra Felton, which is a stupid last name, but it's cool. And it's funny because I don't know how many times I've painted this miniature. I'm gonna say conservatively like 7 times, like at a minimum.
Oh yeah, there's no way you've painted it less than like a dozen times at least.
Yeah, because I always painted this miniature because and the reason why I'm painting it tonight is because I fucking save these. Like I hoard them. No, I'm not kidding. Like
I believe it. I believe it.
And it's like, oh man, I want to paint something like fun and just enjoy something. Yeah. I'll break out one of these and just paint it. And now I have to go back and replenish. I have to go find another one.
It's a great mini.
It has a significance too, right? Because it's like the reason why I got in. One of the main reasons I got into Malifaux is I was watching miniature painting videos on YouTube, and I ran across Painting Clinic's video where Tony is painting this.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, hey, that's not a buff space marine or a buff orc or a buff dwarf. That's a
or
lady
a buff
with a
sister of battle.
Yeah. it's a lady with a clockwork sword. That's fucking awesome. What is that game? I want to play that. And it literally started getting that started my interest in the game.
Oh, that's awesome, man. I didn't know that. I didn't know that that's how you picked it out. That's really cool.
I was like, I'm just because we've been playing GW forever, whatever. And I was like, wait, there's games where you could just like paint a normally proportioned woman with a weapon. I'll play that.
No, yeah, that's the aesthetic was unique for sure.
Yeah. So let's see. We got Nelson in the chat. What's up? And Cam is in the chat.
Cam,
it's the Jake.
Whoa! What's up, dude? This is such a throwback. This is fucking hot. I'm excited about this.
Man, this is like the old show. Remember when we had the old show?
SoCal Malifaux live, dude. Yes. Are you kidding me? Right? I was trying to. So I've been on a dive today when I could get away from work. I've been trying to look up old Malifaux literature that we had about our events and everything, like invitations and shit like that. I was trying to figure out if there was a time of death of SoCal Malifaux, what our last event was and everything. And I remember our last event. Very little. What was our last event?
It was pretty bad, dude.
Oh no.
We had this.
we were salty at that point, huh?
We had this event. No, yeah, we had this event. It was at Comic Quest, and we did an M2E demo event.
Oh my god! And then we just
you showed up.
Everyone in Comic Quest.
No, you showed up, and I forget we were playing some other game at the time, like Inner Majesty's Name or some shit. And you showed up, and you're like, "So are we just gonna break out this game instead?" Oh. And then SoCal showed up, I think some people, I think Mark remembers this. Mark could tell this story, but the SoCal showed up, and I'm trying to teach them how to play M2E, and like I'm dead behind the eyes. Like I don't give a fuck at this point. And
Oh, no.
and Jack SoCal's like, can you explain to me how this rule works? And he literally has the card in front of him that has the rule. And I said, well, I don't know. Let's read it together.
Oh my God.
It was bad.
We needed to stop. Oh no.
Yeah.
All
was
the
like-
joy was gone.
It was like the bad concert moment where
Ooh.
like, we had a bad trip and we
Oh,
just want to
yeah.
get off the fucking stage.
We were just in it for the money at that point.
Yeah. we were all
fucking
mad.
sold out, and
We
we're
hated our
mad.
manager.
Oh my
We were-
God, yeah. We hated
was-
each other. We were on
Yeah.
stage just like not engaging at all, just powering through songs as fast as we could.
We're like, fuck you, Baltimore.
Yeah.
Get off the
Oh my
stage.
God, we were hauling oats when I saw those motherfuckers in like 2011. Like that was bad.
Yes.
We were warrant at every show after their first album came out. Like that
Oh,
was
God. Wow. You brought up Warren. Holy shit. Dang.
Oh,
Yeah, we are living that quarantine life, man. How is quarantine life treating you?
quarantine life's not bad. Quarantine life's okay. I haven't left my dwelling in like 3 weeks, I think.
Whoa. Like you didn't
Just-
even you don't
I
get
mean, I go
groceries
outside and
or
get the mail, and I get or no, I take that back. I went out last Thursday to get groceries. Yeah, but
That's cool.
I try and stock up so I don't have to be out a ton. But
Right.
I mean, it's okay. It's not bad. I live alone, so it's I don't have anybody bugging me.
It's yeah, dude. God, I still romanticize about the days I lived alone. Like I look back, I'm like, oh man, I used to just like have like vodka and fish sticks for dinner and then just pass out in the middle of my living room. And that was like my life. And that was okay. No one could judge me. I was okay with that.
That's not what fatherhood is.
No. No.
You just have to
No.
share the fish sticks with small
You just-
people, and
yeah.
there's no vodka, right? That's
They'll walk up to you and eat the fish sticks out of your hands. Is what will happen.
oh man.
Wow. So yeah, that was our last event. But we could talk about the first event. Actually, we should talk about before the first event. So I talked about like pretty much the first image that brought me into Malifaux, which was this miniature that I'm painting. What about you? What was like when did the magic happen for you?
Yeah. No, I remember it. I was going to what's the shop in Fullerton? Oh my God, the Realm.
The Realm, yeah.
Yeah. So I was going to the Realm. I went to go pick up some 40K or something, and I just saw Malifaux. They had it like back in a corner. It was like kind of behind the counter almost. I was like,
Yeah.
I don't even know if I can like go back here, but I went back and I like picked up the box. And I saw the Nicodem box. And I was like, this is the coolest fucking thing ever. This dude's in a trench coat. He's got a big vulture on his shoulder. He's got a punk rock zombies. Like, I don't know what this is.
Samurai Punk Zombies.
Yeah, I immediately that day I bought that starter box. I bought the rule book, and then I bought the Pandora starter box. And I was just gonna
nice.
paint that up and like force my brother to play with me or something. And little did I know that was like the worst starter box, like one of the best characters in the game, but like the worst starter box.
Yeah, the Nicodem
like,
starter box.
Play out of the game. Yeah.
Right.
And the Pandora one too. It was like
right. It's just too hard to figure out.
It was just like there's no synergy out of the box. You had to like buy like 15 other minis to make it work. But
so I can share something with you that you're gonna find upsetting. Even though like I will tell you right now, I do like 3rd edition.
Okay.
I do actually like it.
Okay.
But I discovered something awful.
Oh no.
Because I bought the Nicodem box, the new one, and and I set it up, and I run it for demos. It's actually pretty good for that.
Okay.
And anyways, they don't call Samurai Punk Zombies anymore.
Okay. What do they call them? Like if
So
they still have
now-
a cool name, it's okay. It's all right. I'm starting to get a little nervous.
They call them rabble rousers.
What?
I'm gonna type it. I'm gonna type it in the YouTube chat so these
Rabble
guys.
rousers.
So Cameron can see it too.
Where can I find the YouTube chat? I need to be a part of that too. What? I thought that's not. I don't even have I literally don't have a.
Yeah. Why is it called a rabble rouser? I think your audio cut out too. I think it killed your audio. The
reaction to that because am I back? Oh,
yeah, you had a little bit of a
fantastic.
I think YouTube they saw the shitstorm coming.
Oh.
They decided to
they shut it down. They put the censor guy hit the button. Oh.
There's like a nerd rage meter. They're like, oh
yeah.
shit. It's gonna
I'm
hit
sorry
critical.
to let you down, censor guy. I had an aneurysm. I couldn't even compute. I didn't. Oh my! What the fuck? What even is rabble rouser? I guess that you could call a punk a rabble rouser, but like.
So we did we did like an M3E thing, like a demo day at CQ.
Okay.
And some of the old folks, like some of the old crew, showed up, and they were like, "What the fuck is a rabble rouser?"
Oh.
And I think what's his name? Oh, I forget his name. The guy that we used to game with at Mercenary Market was there, and he's like, "Oh, I like this new name, rabble rouser," and the rest of us just looked at him like, "What the hell is your issue?"
Dude, no. Come on now,
I like
man.
that we're calling them rabble rouser now. Like, what the hell is a rabble rouser? Everybody I taught that day, I was like, don't ever call it this.
It's like samurai
Samurai
punk zombie was a perfect description of what that thing was. It was a samurai, and it was punk, and it was a zombie, and that was the coolest fucking thing I'd ever seen in my life. And I was like, this game is instantly bought. Like, that's it.
Yeah.
That's what sold me. I remember I picked that up and I was like, this is so cool. I've never seen anything like it. I've never seen anybody play it. It's like weird steampunk horror. Like I remember like flipping through the rule book, and the aesthetic of it reminded me of the Dark Tower series. And that's like my favorite book series of all time. So I was like, okay, I'm in on this. This is fucking cool. It's weird West. It's horror Western. Like that's my shit.
Nice. Cam says Seamus was my gateway drug. Been a Resurrectionist fanboy ever since.
Attaboy.
I gotta say the Resur 3, the original 3, Seamus, Nicodem, and McMorning.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty strong.
The pretty strong lineup right there. It was just fuck you blitz all night.
I think that opening, that original 3 is better than a lot of the other factions opening 3. Although I will say the outcasts that they had, the Vix and Levi,
who was secretly a resurrectionist.
Who is pretty much a resurrectionist.
But no, Outcast was a pretty amazing faction too.
Yeah.
They were a lot of fun. Levi's, that's the most fun I've ever had playing, was when I was playing Levi Cruz. Because it's like, now I'll summon a zombie. Now I'll summon a spider arachnid. Like, what? That was one of the fun ones. Him and Marcus, those were the two most fun. And
Marcus
and Ramos.
Is still so much fun.
But like, if you owned everything in the game, like you and I did, it was so fun to play those crews, because it's like, I'm gonna run faux gups.
Yeah. I'm gonna take Marcus. What's he gonna have? Faux gups.
Oh my god! And we ran faux gups so many times. It was the most useless model in the game. A blister of gups was like $18.99. It was like stupid.
I didn't. Yeah, and you had to buy 4 of them to run with a spawn mother.
So you've spent like $100 on gups by the time you can actually use, or no more, because the spawn mother was like $30 on her own.
Right.
Oh my god.
And I was going through the Dropbox, the old documents, and there is a document an event document called Faux Gups. And I don't exactly remember. I'm pretty sure we ran an event called Faux Gups, but I'll have to pull up the document later and
I think we
look up.
did. I you know what? I remember that because we had our funny like bullshit events. We ran Faux Ups and then we ran
The Bishop tournament.
the Bishop tournament. Yes, I still
That
have the
was like
picture
the
of you
best.
and Braun with the trophies from that.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
Because
dude.
I won the Bishop tournament with Karis. I had
Yeah.
Karis and Bishop, and that was the list.
Yeah, because because it was, what was it? It was like a 20 soulstone tournament.
Yeah,
And
but you
the
had
only
to
requirement
take
was in
Bishop.
every list you had to have Bishop. And Bishop was like an 11 soul. He was the least efficient mini in the game. He was hilarious. And we were like, okay, we're doing this. And like, dude, like 30 people came out to that tournament.
Yeah, that's probably the thing I would point to if you were saying like what made our community stand out versus other gaming communities. Because if you pulled that shit today, I think in like most gaming communities, they'd be like, what the kind of stupid tournament is this? It's not competitive enough, and they wouldn't show up.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know,
Bullshit.
we got that back then too. Like people didn't get it. Like, I mean,
But we still had like 30 people
right,
showing up.
but that was the cool thing about our community, you know. And
Yeah.
I think you know it. Since this episode's all about, you know, jerking each other off and like
The nostalgia,
talking about,
bro.
yeah, the nostalgia and like
Yeah.
reminiscing about our empire gone. Like,
Yep.
But like, I mean, you know, I think that the thing that SoCal Malifaux did really well was we had an identity that was like really well crafted. Like we used Malifaux terminology and stuff, but we had our own like terms, we had our own symbols and everything. And like, you know, I mean, everything that was a part of the group, it was like there was so much in language in the group and everything, you know, like taking the black and all that.
Right.
And
So you know what happened this past week? Rick, I forget his last name, but he was one of the guys down in Oceanside.
Yeah. Rick, he
posted
the bald guy, right?
No, he was kind of skinny.
Oh, really?
Skinny. He had a like a mustache. Anyways, he posted he's been doing some quarantine painting. And he's like, I found this mini like out of nowhere, and I started painting it, and it was the Reaper Krampus mini.
Oh, dude!
And I reminded him, I'm like, hey, you remember when we had a whole regional game where the point was to find that mini in the wild and take a picture of yourself holding that blister? Do you remember that shit?
I do remember that. I do remember that. You had to take a picture of yourself and post it on our Facebook, and then we would like reward you with something.
Yeah. And you would get points. And then we did and then we had an end of year Krampus event.
Mm-hmm. Krampus knocked 2013, right?
Yeah,
or was it earlier? Was it 2012?
I don't remember. I think it was 2013.
And you bought like this amazing Krampus statue.
Yeah.
Like $200, and it was like outrageously like ornate and and he's standing on this like pile of skulls. He looked like a corn demon. It was so cool.
Right, and I had him set up on my coffee table with the mics for karaoke, so that you could play Malifaux and then sing karaoke. And Krampus was there in the middle of the whole thing.
The absolute greatest thing ever. You know what? I remember that day because it was the same day that we went to that we drove like off the face of the earth, and we went to that tournament up in where Phil lives.
Oh, Chatsworth or whatever.
Chatsworth, yeah. And it felt like forever to drive there. But you know what? That day, honestly, I can pinpoint that. That is my favorite day ever of playing Malifaux.
Damn. Yeah. Didn't you win? That was the one where you won that tournament and you won best painted.
I won the best painted.
I was like, oh shit. And there was a lot of quote unquote like pro painters there.
Right.
You remember
that? Because that was the day where like it was the first time that I was like not running a tournament like ever.
Right.
and I was and like a bunch of people were talking shit like, oh, resers aren't competitive, resers are bad. And I'm like, how is a faction that I can have like 40 more soul stones than I started the game with on the board at the end of the game not competitive? Like, I'm gonna show I'm gonna show you guys that this is competitive. And
Yeah.
and that was the day I met Rory, who has become one of my best friends. I talk to Rory every single day of my life. Like
Nice.
Rory and I play PC games all the time together. And um yeah, and I met Rory in the final round, and he was playing Outcast. He was playing a Von Schill crew, and I was like, "Fuck it, I'm going Nicodem, and I'm gonna do
Nice.
it." And I beat him by 1 point,
Nice.
and he was so mad because Rory is the nicest guy in the entire world, but he's very competitive, and he's very good at games.
I'm pretty
But
sure I met Rory before you, because
I think you did, yeah,
I
yeah.
met Rory and Kevin at GMI, and they were playing Malifaux like independently of us at GMI, and that was when we met them, and Kevin was the one that taught me the Ramos game.
Oh, that's tight. I didn't know that.
Yeah, because I was like, man, I really love this Ramos. Like, he's my favorite character in the fluff, but I'm like fucking terrible.
Yeah.
And Kevin was like, oh no, let me show you the ways. And he taught me the ways. It was pretty awesome.
That's awesome, man. No, but yeah, but Rory, and then he was like, okay, you beat me. I respect you. And I was like, okay, cool.
To be his best friend.
Yeah. No, and Rory's the fucking coolest guy in the world now. So it's like, and then I remember we drove down, and I remember we were getting texts from some number we didn't know, and they were like, hey, Octave, I'm at your house. Like, no one else I know is here. Are you guys coming back soon? And it was that dude we used to hang out with at Mercenary Market. Nicholas, I think his name was.
Okay.
He was like not a gamer. He like got into Malifaux, and that was like the only tabletop game he played. So he was like hanging out with Lizzie and her teacher friends.
We had a lot of those. We had a lot of those too.
We did, yeah. And that was another great thing about Malifaux is it drew those type of people in. It was like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
what
I
the
would
hell is
never
this?
play Warhammer, but this is cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, dang. You remember that guy's name. That's awesome.
Oh yeah, dude. I'm cursed with a photographic memory.
Let's see. Kevin says, sorry, Cam says SoCal Malifaux had a good sense of humor. Yes.
I like to think so. Yeah.
And Mark says, hey, what's up, Mark? I didn't even know.
Mark, what's up, dude?
The mysterious creature Kevin that would sometimes just appear. Kevin is still that mysterious.
Oh, dude, he is, yeah.
He still shows up.
When Kevin shows up, you know it's gonna be a good time. Kevin is the man.
He just messaged me out of nowhere like last week to make sure I was alive.
That's the type of dude Kevin is. Kevin's just a good dude. Like, Kevin literally might be the nicest person I've ever met in my entire life.
Yeah. He wanted to be sure I was alive because, there was, the outbreak in Irvine.
Oh,
and,
right. Yeah.
And I'm close enough to that I'm pretty sure I already had coronavirus.
Oh shit.
Like, I'm fairly, like, I'll tell you guys, I'm like 75% certain my family has already had it.
Damn.
Because Lizzie had pneumonia in February for 2 weeks, and it was like one of the worst like pneumonias she's ever had. My other son had he had a fever for like 2 weeks. I had a cough that lasted several weeks, and our other son did too. So I'm like looking at the fact pattern and the outbreak, and I'm going, yeah, there's a good chance that's already been through this house.
I mean, it's possible. That's crazy, man.
Oh, hey, what's up,
what's
Matt?
up? I'm on video now.
You're on video. That's your place.
Cheers.
Chilling. Cheers, man. Oh man, I need to get here. Let me line up a little.
Oh, the good times? Yeah, get the good times going.
Oh, I don't actually. I just cleaned that shit out.
You have any bad times?
No.
Remember how every time we'd go to a con, you brought the sake, and you'd have a good times bottle and you'd have a bad times bottle.
Dang, I had to explain to somebody that like late last year. about the good times and the bad times.
That was like the greatest thing ever. I was like, I literally shop like today still like that. I'm like, okay, I need a good times and a bad times. And people like don't understand. They're like, I don't understand. It's just a Thursday night. You're drinking by yourself. And I'm like, yeah, that means I'm
Yeah.
hitting the bad times.
That means you get 2 bottles of bad times and 1 bottle of good times. And you ride the good times in the middle. Like there are clear rules
We're
for
picking this up, guys. We could do this.
I'm gonna move the camera here to show you like my little
Oh,
drink
dude,
over
that's
here.
sick.
So this is my tankard.
Hell yeah.
It's got a little guild ball.
Oh, very cool,
on the
man.
side. This thing is like ancient too. It's
Did
like
did
old
Gabe
school
make that for you?
copper.
That's fucking sick.
No, he made a bunch of other stuff for me, but I like, so we do for Guild Ball, we do the Kingdom Cup. So
Okay.
every year I give out this badass fucking cup that
Damn,
costs
you have
me a
one?
lot of money. And then this is but
classic. That's classic.
I know, yeah, I still do that. But this was we had a like a kind of a qualifier for it.
Mm.
And I wasn't supposed to win it, but I was doing well, and everybody was like, "No, fuck that, play for it."
Wow.
And I ended up winning it.
Damn.
Like, I will award myself this cup then.
I gift to myself the gift from myself. That's like me at like office like Christmas parties. It's when we do White Elephant. I'm like, what the hell? Who knew that I needed issues 82 through 87 of Batman? Like, what the fuck, guys? Thank you. That's so amazing.
But yeah, it's so sad. I was telling people this year I have, this year's Kingdom Cup is in this room, but it has not been to the engraver.
Oh,
and
can you show me the
I don't want to.
Can I see the blank canvas?
Okay, I guess I'm gonna.
Hey, come on, man! It's a special night. Let's do a big reveal.
Let's
do a big fucking reveal on this.
Here it is. I got this shit from Spain.
Let's see it.
This is fucking crazy.
All right, let's see.
So this is forged brass.
Ooh. Damn,
crazy.
You ordered it from Spain?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, dude.
Like I don't fuck around.
You used to drop money in the Malifaux days, and now it's a whole nother ball game.
Sadly, it's I'll be honest with you, it's not even close to what I spent in Malifaux days because all the conventions. Now it's just like
well, that's true.
Now it's just one big. Oh god, it's all like I have to polish it and shit. But here's
Dang,
it's like
tight.
It looks black.
Yeah, actually. It does.
And it's like solid. This thing is so solid
cool.
brass,
dude.
And it's gonna cost me a grip to get it engraved, but hey, they're not working. But anyways, so I was due. Yeah, so that's this year's super sad. No Kingdom Con.
No Kingdom Con. I know.
But I was like, well, we're still doing the Kingdom Cup because we're still gonna represent.
Yeah, you should.
That.
You know what? Kingdom Con lives on.
Yeah.
Hearts and minds and thoughts and prayers. Sending thoughts and prayers to everybody who go to Kingdom Con anymore, including myself, man. That was the last gaming convention that I did, like tabletop.
Yep.
Was like, oh man, shit, what was that?
And now it's the last one I did. Super sad.
Damn. God. Fucking start crying. Turn this webcam on. But yeah, I think like what was it? What was it? Like 3 years ago? 2 or 3 years, maybe longer, 4 years ago? I don't know. I don't remember.
Well, you were there 2 years ago, I thought.
Okay, then that was
You were there a year before last.
Because I remember I went. I didn't play a whole lot. I just kind of hung out. But the best part of that Kingdom Con was there was somebody walking through the door and they were holding a ton of shit. Like, look, when SoCal Malifaux broke down, I mean, you went over it earlier. Like, we were kind of dead behind the eyes. We were done, and we hated each other. And like, there was some bad blood in the leadership, and I don't know if it trickled down.
Tough.
And leadership. Yeah. Look at us, fucking jerking ourselves off. But like, but like, it was. I mean, we got big heads. Like we did. We ran a fucking big gaming thing, and like we all had a different idea about what should happen next. And
right,
like,
we dealt with the aftermath very differently.
Yeah, we did.
Caused a lot of problems.
It did cause a ton of problems, and I remember getting in huge fights online with your brother,
Oh gosh,
and
yeah.
like real bad. Like, and the coolest thing about that Kingdom Con for me was that somebody was walking through the door and they were carrying a ton of shit, and I was like, oh, here, let me grab that. I held the door open, and then it's your
Uh-huh.
brother Paul.
Oh god.
And he comes in, he's like, Jake, what's up? And he comes over, he gives me a big hug, like nothing ever happened. And I was just like, nice, okay, cool, yeah, man, good to see you. And like, we didn't really hang out or anything, but it was just cool to, that like, that was all good.
I know there's well, I mean, I'll be
Oh, my
straight.
webcam died.
There's still there's still people that have bad blood with me for getting into the fights that they got into with my brother. And my brother has since made up with them, but those people still don't like me.
Well, I
Like,
think that's
oh,
why you and I
okay.
had bad blood for a little while,
Yeah.
because it's like, because I remember like being mad at you, and then like you
Yeah.
sent me a message on Facebook or something, and I was like, why am I mad at Octave? Like, I was like, this is a little silly. No, it's a lot silly. Like, I'm being a child. So
Well, I'll say this. I mean, when the thing fell apart, I went into some kind of psychotic mode where it was like, I'm going to keep all of this together. I'll just move us all
yeah,
to another game. And I think at that point, you and a lot of other guys, a lot of the other leaders were like, you know what? Let's just game. Like, let's
yeah,
just do our thing. It'll come natural. And I'm like, wait, I don't want to stop the train. And I was, and the reason why I was in that mode, and I think you know why, is because, um, I was planning to have kids, and I'm like,
yeah.
okay, I'm gonna have kids. I'm gonna make this a big fucking deal, like
You're
my
like, this
last
is the
year.
legacy I leave my children.
Yeah,
And,
essentially, it was like,
like,
because I was like, it's lights out after this, right? I'm
right.
gonna be
And
off
and
the
and I
radar.
get that. And I remember that. That was our falling out, that we were like, let's just game, let's just fucking play whatever. We had a Blood
Yeah,
Bowl league going at the time that was a lot of fun. Everybody was
yeah,
having a good time with that. And like, we were like, let's just do this. Let's just play whatever stupid little game comes up and not worry about running demos and running
yeah.
tournaments and doing all this stuff. And it's like, that was really, really fun. And part of
But
the impetus for me to turn away from that was that, like, I was fucking poor, dude. And
yeah,
like,
yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I took on a significant amount of debt to like do SoCal Malifaux,
No
like,
shit, dude. No,
which
yeah, that's
um
real.
I mean, and I don't regret it. I'd do it again in a heartbeat. It was a lot of fun, and
Right.
I learned a lot, and I gained a lot of actually really valuable skills from it, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, you were
And
telling me the other day about how in your professional life these days, like you can still draw back on some of the things that
no,
uh
seriously, like
yeah,
running events is like managing an event. It's like there's so many times where it's like it doesn't matter what you do. It's like, okay, yeah, managing personalities, like doing all this shit. Like, I work in
hmm
research now. I run a ton of focus groups, and it's like, okay, like understanding personality and like doing all that stuff. It's like, oh, okay, yeah. I learned a lot of that in SoCal Malibu. It's
Yep.
like, how do you keep, the fucking guy who wants to just curb stomp everybody, and like the person who's played 3 games of this game who got randomly paired up in the first round of the tournament? How do you keep both of those people happy? Like that's a skill, and it's a skill you can only get through that. So it's like,
Yeah.
I don't regret any of it, but it was
Right.
like
But
I was at the point where I was like, dude, we've done every major convention in Southern California like for the past 3 or 4 years, and like
mhm.
my credit card is maxed out, motherfucker.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Like,
I had a conversation. What was it? It was like, I think the last SmackDown or whatever. I had
mm,
a conversation with Gail and Sean. You remember those, Gail and Sean, right?
love them. Yeah,
From
I remember
Yeah,
those.
they're awesome.
Oh, super
And
cool people.
and we were having breakfast together, and
Nice.
they're like, Octave, let's compare notes. Like, how much do you spend on conventions every year?
Oh my God. Yeah.
And we sat down and we did the math. Like, we did the math, and I'm like, oh God, I spend like about that much too. And they're like,
Yeah.
we spend that much per person. And I
Oh,
was like, oh shit, I forgot there's two of you. And they were
damn.
like, and it was sad too, because they were like, yeah, because they're like, we were gonna ask you if you would take over what was the name of their gaming, like, that that North County gaming thing.
Yeah, yeah,
They're
yeah.
like,
What was that?
they're like, I forget what it's called, but they're like,
Something. It had guild in the title, right?
yeah, they were like, we were gonna ask you if you wanted to take over that, and I'm like, that's funny. I was gonna ask you if you wanted to take over SoCal Malifaux.
Oh man.
We're like,
Oof.
yeah, we can't afford, because I was like,
Big
I was
oof.
like, dude, I'm gonna have kids. I'm gonna have a kid next year, so
Yeah.
like, I'm out the game. We gotta make this last. But like, I'll totally own up to like just flat out bad behavior like after the thing broke down, because I'm like,
Oh,
man,
dude. Same.
I need this ship to keep sailing. Nobody understands how special this was. Like it's just fine. I'll fucking do it myself. I was like,
No,
so
dude. I
mad.
mean, it really was. It felt like it really did feel like we had like we were the fucking Stones or something, and we had just broken up. Like that's
Yeah,
what it felt like.
yeah. It's true too, because there were some people that were telling me like this feels bad. This feels like mom and dad split up, and
Yeah.
I don't know. And do I go to Octave's new game thing? Do I go play in the league with Jake and those guys? What do
Right.
I
Right.
do? That was bad. That's when things were like bad.
That's bad. See, I didn't know that it was affecting like our people like that because we had a tight community and we had a lot of people and I really took a lot of pride in that. So I feel bad about the way that it ended. I
we
really, really do. And
we
like
yeah, and that's how well that's it's horrible, but it's also really like it's also really humbling how I guess how emotionally invested people were,
right.
where it was like, man, I don't even know what to do now. There are people who are
Yeah.
like, I don't even know what to do now.
Well, that's yeah, exactly. Like it's crazy to think because I remember feeling like that. And I was
Hmm.
like, well, whatever, I'm at this like crossroads in my life. I got to like get my career going. I got to do all this shit. And it's like,
Yeah. Well, you and I
um,
both were like we were at a spot where and here's me being a dick. I'm like, I'm gonna groom Jake to take over this whole thing. No, really. And I'm like, I'm gonna groom Jake to take over this whole thing. And then I'll come back after like 4 or 5 years. He'll have this awesome community and I'll just be able to game. Like that
yeah.
was like my crazy plan. I'm like,
Dang.
we're
That's a
gonna have
that's
this
a fucking
amazing
cool.
thing.
That's actually a really cool plan. Like I didn't know you had this like crazy ulterior motive dang, like you were just puppet mastering that shit. But
Well, yeah, I was like, I'm just gonna fund this, off to the side and have my kids and be responsible.
oh, that's so fucking cool though, man. Like
It was a good intention, but like I took it to like the draconian.
well, I mean, we never foresaw, what
Well,
happened. We
yeah,
never, and I never ever ever thought that it would be an inside job.
yeah, right.
Like the thing that would kill it was
L-
weird miniatures.
Look at
Like
this is the question from Troy. Have you two forgiven Mac for writing M2E?
Troy, my man, dude. Oh my God. You know what?
It's a
it's still a tough pill to swallow. These days it's like, hey, I don't know, maybe I'd be living a different life if that didn't
it's a
happen.
mixed
Maybe
bag, right?
yeah.
Yeah. Like we both went on to kind of move on to the next chapters of our respective lives, so we can be grateful for that and still hate that fucking addition. But yeah.
That edition, I hate the edition. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I met Mac, weird dude. Don't hate
Oh
him.
god,
It's
we
like,
fucking hated that guy.
yeah, he's a
Uh,
weird dude, but I've kind of let it go. I've made my peace with it. It is
I
what it
know.
is.
I
It's
just
like
remember like within the first 5 minutes we met him and he's immediately talking shit about Dan Weber, and we
in
were like
front of Dan Weber.
and we were like,
Like
fuck that guy. Like
we were like,
immediately.
yeah, he was like, oh yeah, this game, it's just not very sophisticated. And I was like, what are you talking about? It's the best game ever. Like we built you this community of like 2,000 people. Like like, come on, get off my dick.
Yeah, you're right, Troy. You did have to bring it up. You did have to ask. How
You
do we
did have
feel?
to ask,
I
and to be honest with you, yeah, that's kind of how I feel, and I'm happy that he's not, as far as I know, he's not with the company anymore.
No, he's not.
Yeah, because that was bad. But it's not all on him. There were other questionable choices. I remember playing Puppet Wars and being like, this is some fucking shit right here. I can't sell this. I was like,
Yeah.
I can't sell that. I could sell any of the Malifaux. I can't sell fucking this shit. This is some fucking bullshit right
So
here.
I have. So I was looking at the Dropbox today. Like I said, I was telling you earlier, and I looked at the M2E alpha files, and I had labeled them all "fuck Mac." Mac is an idiot. Like every file, every
We were
folder
salty for
was
sure,
like,
man. Oh my god, and I've said something. Do you still have? I was going through your videos today. I watched a few just to prepare for this. I wanted to see what your format was like, but
it's the same shit.
oh yeah,
basically.
no, it's fucking cool. But I didn't go that far back. I don't know if you still have the old SoCal Malifaux lives up, but
Oh, they
god
are.
damn.
They're there. It's
Oh
just
my god,
impossible. It's
Jesus Christ!
impossible to
It's
find.
just out there forever for all
Yeah.
eternity, and the internet can just always just get me. Like everything I say can and will be used against me. But
Oh, I forgot you're in professional life now.
I am,
Man,
yeah.
yeah, I'm gonna have to remove all those videos. Before
No,
somebody
it's
finds
fine. It's
back.
totally fine. I'm sure the statute of limitations on most of that shit is.
I don't know, man. The outrage mob is pretty strong.
Oh,
If you
well,
ever
we
run
did our
for public
apologies at the
office,
end of every video. We had
we
the
did.
apology track, which was that was a lot of fun. That was a very fun time. That was just funny stuff, man. It was
Yeah.
just and that was part of the whole the MTV rants, right? I've got the
Oh,
chat up. I know
jeez.
about technology. I'm not the
Well, I mean,
but
Troy. It would be funny because we would be having like a fairly normal stream where we're talking about some other game. Like, Jake, tell me about Saga. Oh, Saga's great, man. And then Troy would be in the chat. Hey, how does Saga compare with M2E? And
oh
then
my
we
god!
would
And then it
just
would be
be like,
3 hours later, like just, and we've debased ourselves and like said so many things. It's just like, and like I'm so drunk that like I can't even hold up my head anymore. It's just it was. Oh my god, just a fucking nightmare. Just a fucking nightmare that was. And it felt bad, dude. It felt
yeah.
bad when that happened. It felt like I was losing a friend.
You
But
know, it was like we were talking. It's like talking about an ex-wife or, somebody that cheated on us or something.
yeah,
But
it's a lot like that. It's a lot
yeah,
like that. It,
like,
it really is. It's weird. But
and,
oh,
and
that's
now she
tight. You're doing
stinks.
you're I like what you're doing right there to paint it like it's a legging. It's
Oh
fucking
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Yeah,
Just
that looks
using some contrast paint
yeah, that looks
because
really
you
cool.
can cheat. Now you don't have to do like the crazy layering technique I used to do.
Right. Well, and I mean the thing about those minis, they were so intricate, but they were that like you could do like easy techniques like that, and they looked fantastic.
Yeah.
Like, oh, God, I love those minis so much. So
No,
fucking good. I
you play
remember your
Victoria's Story.
Cassandras would like do costume changes like during the game. Like you had so
Yeah.
many Cassandras painted up that like turn 3, you were like, okay, and you would just like swap it out like you were playing
Unbury,
golf.
and then you
Like
just put a different
yeah,
one down.
yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
I still
that was
do that.
so cool. Oh man, that was so cool. But I heard, you know what? I heard that 3rd edition isn't bad. I heard it's
Yeah.
pretty damn good.
Yeah.
Wow.
We've been enjoying it. Like, okay, I'll get Mark in here in a little bit because
Yeah,
Mark has
definitely,
got to get
definitely.
you caught up on the M2E days
Ooh,
when you
ooh.
were, enjoying life. And me and Mark were playing. We were
More or
playing
less, I
Batman.
guess.
Yeah,
That
we were.
Batman game looks fucking cool
It's
though.
pretty hot. We need to play it. So we were playing Batman. We were playing Guild Ball, and then once a year, Mark could convince me to play some Malifaux because Mark
Damn,
never stopped
Mark the
collecting Malifaux.
Dark Magician.
He would like
Ooh.
once a year, and he would just like he would just pick up a box and look at it in the shop, and I'm like, fuck, man. Damn, and then and then you get the deck of cards in your hands, and you shuffle it once, and you're like, "This was my
Yeah.
life. I remember this."
Oh my
It's
God,
like
yeah.
something in your DNA screams out, like, "You are supposed to do this."
Yeah, it's like a gambling addict, like
Yeah.
going, like walking through the casino, like, oh.
So like
Like-
once a year, like Mark could get me to play M2E once a year. And I kept one crew, again, I kept the collect crew. Once a year we would play, and I go, yeah, I still don't fucking like it. And, and
Oh,
that went on for like 5 years.
dang, I can't believe you could do it. Like that would have been too bittersweet for me. I don't think I could have touched it.
Oh
It would
God,
have been
the first year that Mark tried to talk me into it, I was like, nah, no,
no,
for
no,
like a
no.
month. Nah. And Mark travels far. Like he travels far to come down here and game.
Oh, Mark is the
Like,
soul behind SoCal Malifaux.
I
Mark
think
was
he lives in
he
Australia and he drives here.
damn.
But but
Damn, Mark. Wow.
yo, but he would, and I'd be like, and he'd be like, hey, next week bring your Malifaux. And I'm like, what? No.
What?
Yeah.
If
And
someone
he would
told me that, hey, next week bring your Malifaux, I would weep for like 10 days straight. I would
he would
just
do it for like, he would give me a month. He'd pace it, right? So he would ask me a month before, and then
Okay.
he knew within that month I would be looking at I'm like looking again, looking at the models, like, all right, fuck it, let's try it. And then we would play. Then
Oh,
we would
man.
play a game, and I'm like, yeah, we're not doing this. And then the next year he would do it again. And then
Well, his timing was impeccable. He was playing the long game on that.
yeah.
Mark,
And then
damn, dude. I'm
we
impressed.
gotta ask Mark about, because Mark wasn't actually the one to introduce me to third edition. It was another one of my friends.
Okay.
He that didn't know about any of this, and he's like, hey, Octave, what do you know about this game Malifaux? And it,
Wow. Oh my
yeah.
God. Hey, you ever heard of a little country called Vietnam? Like,
Yeah, it was
it's like, "Ugh."
the
Like-
anime straight line goes across my eyes. I'm like, have you ever heard of this game? What do you think? The minis look great. Like, oh fuck.
Damn. I just gotta say in the chat, I am Legend quadruple zeros. Yeah, I like that
Yeah.
idea on the costume change for Zatanna. That's cool.
I
That would
do
be-
love Zatanna. Yeah, I
Zatanna's
actually
cute.
want to buy a Zatanna. Yeah, just to use as a Colette, because that's I don't know if you've ever seen that mini for Batman.
I've looked at a lot of the minis. I don't know if I know. I just see what you post on like Instagram and stuff. But
Yeah, those minis are awesome.
yeah. But Zatanna's a great character.
Yeah. Let's But yeah, anyways, so he asked me about it, and I'm like, oh man, I hated M2E, blah blah blah. And then
did you tell him like, oh, I don't know if you
no,
know
I
this
didn't.
about me, but I'm kind of a big deal.
All I told him was like, I'm like, you may not believe this, but Orange County used to have the largest active Malifaux community, like forever. And because he moved down here, I don't know, a couple years ago or whatever, and did not know that.
Oh wow.
But but he got me to just look at the rules, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna look at the rules and then tell him to fuck off, basically. And I looked at the rules, and I was like, wait, Colette actually has a playstyle again. Wait, what? Wait? She does what? That's what? So yeah. So then so I broke the minis
that's
back
cool.
out. Yeah, and we played, and then I was like, oh shit, this game is actually good. Now my only criticism of the game is that it's just too fucking long. That's the only problem. It's the only problem I have with the game. And it's not that it's really any longer than what 1.5 was. It really isn't. But compared to games that we play these days, like Guild Ball and Aristea, and those games are usually done like an hour and a half, and Malifaux is a little closer to 2 hours. So, and it is a brain bender. Like, I forgot that when we played Malifaux, like we lived Malifaux, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That was a lifestyle choice.
I mean,
And
that's
I'm like,
all we did.
Yeah.
We ran demos. We had a demo night. I mean, dude,
Yeah.
our week was we had demo nights 2 or 3 times a week in Costa Mesa at Merck's Market. We
Right.
had demo nights at CQ a couple nights a week, and then
Yeah.
we would like go up to LA and like do demo nights in Pasadena and shit. Like
Yeah.
that was crazy.
And there's
Like,
usually like two or three tournaments we had during the
yeah,
month.
yeah.
Like that was pretty standard for us. And a convention usually.
Usually,
Yeah.
I just want to show something a little special here.
All right. Let me switch this to. Oh, where'd it go? Look at that. Teddy Larsen.
See that shit?
That is amazing.
Octagon 2012. Teddy Larsen's badge. Teddy
Oh.
Larsen was staff.
Who is Teddy Larsen?
I don't know. I didn't know. I was like afraid. I was like, oh shit, this is like some deep cut like reference.
That
I don't know.
wasn't.
There's no actual person named Teddy Larsen. Like Teddy Larsen, as far as I know, I looked him up. The top Google search is that he plays for like the Patriots or something. It's like he's in the NFL.
Reason why we had Teddy
There's a
Larsen.
specific reason why we had Teddy Larsen. I think he's a character in some like shitty comedy movie that we liked or something. But if anybody could say Teddy Larsen, I'll dig up some old
what
Malifaux
is the
shit and I'll
reference
send
there?
it to you. There's got to be something. If anybody could tell me what the Teddy Larsen is, I'll find some Malifaux shit that I still have lying around and I'll send it.
Look at this. This is what's on my here's what's on the door to this room. Look at that.
The big piece of chicken?
That was my badge.
Oh my god, that is
piece of
amazing.
chicken.
That is so good. Dude, those badges. Okay, so that picture for the audience was taken by Octave's better half at Strategicon, I think, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. And we were just passed the fuck out after running demos and drinking all day long.
Yeah.
That's all we did. Like,
Yeah.
You would think we ran a marathon, but we just ran demos and drank all day long. And we were fucking done. We were dead as disco. Like, that shit was canceled.
That's awesome. Oh,
I love it, man. I fucking love that shit still to this day. I was so happy to find. I can't believe you still have the actual badge. Do you remember what my badge was?
That's what I'm trying to remember. I'm pretty sure it was Jackalope.
No.
But
it was it was it was the Office Space reference.
Oh, it was Michael Bolton.
Michael Bolton. Yeah. Michael fucking Bolton, because everybody thought I looked like the guy from Office Space, which I did. I still kind of do.
I still tell people, I'm like, hey, because whenever Office Space comes out, I'm like, dude, one of my good friends looks exactly like that Michael Bolton guy.
I like to think I like to think I take a little bit better care of myself now, but you know, I you know what, whatever. Fuck it.
You know, but back in the day, you could have been his you could have been his double.
I could.
You could have been stunt double.
Oh man, yeah, fun times, dude.
You could be at a bar like, yeah, you know when he kicks the shit out of that printer, that was me. They couldn't they couldn't risk the actor getting hurt.
Oh yeah,
I did that
and
shit.
Just rolling up my windows and turning my gangster app down, like. Oh my god, so funny, so freaking funny, dude. Oh my god, it was so much fun. Like that was so cool. Octagon 2012. Okay, so I told you like that tournament where I met Rory and hung out with all those guys and everything. That was super fun. That was probably my favorite Malifaux day. Octagon 2012 was like my favorite ancillary Malifaux activity that we did.
Yeah.
Like that was like, because no Malifaux was happening at Octagon. Like, no. And I remember you intended for it to be that way. You're like, oh, I've got like a painting station set up, and then it's like, we are trashed. We're not painting anything. Like
no.
Like we are doing, like, set up another karaoke station. This is happening.
Was that the one where I think Lizzie's good friend Dave, like he brought a bunch of people over
Yes, yeah. And there was this like mingling of like two worlds that couldn't be more different. Like it was like extreme gaming nerds and then like people who like had significant others when they were teenagers. Like
and the next morning we were mad at them because we discovered that they would just open a beer and then walk
and
away.
leave it. Yeah. Like what kind of fucking shit is this? Like there's just full beers sitting around. We were out of beer last night when I went for my last beer. This is ridiculous. Like
these people are fucking monsters, man.
Absolute charlatan. Get out. Here's a fucking dictionary so you can look that up.
That was some weird shit, man.
It was fun though, man.
But those were good.
Time. It was such a good time.
The funny thing, and that crowd too, like they had no idea what our crowd was.
No, they didn't. They had absolutely no idea.
There was
like those people probably still talk about this party, that party to this day. They're like,
yeah.
Man, I went to this fucking crazy party one time. There were all these fucking nerd guys, and they just like got down.
Just got down.
Like they didn't give a fuck. They would go sing. Like they were fucking like ripping on some karaoke.
Yeah.
Like, dude, karaoke. Oh my god.
They were singing Journey. They were singing.
Oh my god,
Journey.
We were singing Journey.
Like 3 a.m.
Yeah, they were singing Journey at 3 a.m, and he almost got evicted. Like that's how hardcore it was. Or no, not even Journey, dude. We were deep into the fucking solo shit.
We were in the Steve
Sherry. We were singing when we sang Oh Sherry at 4:30 a.m., I really thought you were gonna get evicted. I thought it was all done. I was like, wow, that was we had a good run. Like my friend Octave was a great guy before he was.
He gave up his livelihood.
Yeah.
For this game.
He gave up his livelihood. I gave him my freedom. I'm about to be arrested.
His marriage is over.
His marriage is done. There's no way.
My wife talked about that this week too. She was like, "Hey, do you remember you used to throw like weird ass parties and shit?"
That's so amazing though. Like I can't. Oh man, that's the best house party I've ever been to. That was so much freaking fun. You threw the best parties, and you had a pretty cool party house. Like for where it was. It was a really good spot, and your neighbors just allowed 4:30 a.m. with like busted ass vocal cords Oh Sherry to happen. So that was amazing. And then I would wake up and you'd be like, here you go, motherfucker, here's breakfast. And you'd force feed spam down my throat.
Yeah, we would all eat spam and rice in the morning.
And I was great. I was like, please, sir, may I have another? Like,
I think I made Saylor eat that shit, and he was like vegetarian or whatever.
Yeah, and you're like, yeah, it's fine. You're still vegetarian. No one knows what this shit is.
It's good. It counts.
Yeah, it counts. Totally counts. Oh my god, so funny, so funny. Do you remember when we did that fucking hilarious like setup with Saylor and that one chick? And then she cut my hair for the next like 10 years.
Oh.
Like she was the person I went to like up until like 2 years ago. Like I went to her to cut my hair, and I still feel bad that I didn't go to her anymore. But like she stopped, like her hours just didn't work. I was driving down to Orange County so she would cut my hair.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I had a longer relationship with her than Saylor did.
Yeah, you did.
By like decades.
Yeah. Dude, that guy.
Still cool. I still keep in touch with her. I haven't talked to Saylor in a long time. Saylor was a funky dude.
Dude, you know Saylor followed me down to Gen Con, right?
Okay.
That one year. I'm like, I'm going to Gen Con this year. It's gonna be great. And he's like, oh, okay, I'm going too. And that fool was like jobless.
How did Saylor make money?
Broke. And
Saylor definitely sold drugs, right?
I'm pretty sure.
Allegedly, definitely, yes.
Yeah. And Saylor Van Merlin, that's not his name.
That's definitely there's no way that's
his real name. So I don't have a problem saying it online, okay? because it's not his real name.
That's not his name. No.
But,
No one knows his real name. No one knows. No one knows how many people he's killed. It's it's all a mystery.
So this dude, he followed me down to Gen Con. This was 2012. He went to Gen Con with me and Lizzie, and he's at Gen Con, and he finds this like weird fucking Steven Seagal looking like orange jacket.
Okay.
It was the weirdest jacket. He's like, dude, what do you think of this jacket? And and I'm like, oh yeah, it's cool, whatever. Cause like me and Lizzie are like, we're like dressed up in steampunk the whole time.
Right.
And
Right.
she's like
you guys
promoting
went all out. Yeah.
Yeah, she's like promoting the weird booth and what's his name? Nathan Carolyn is like, this is great, your wife is awesome. And and he wanted like and oh, do you remember that guy? Shit, I forget his name. I forget his real name, but he was the guy that made that giant paper mache teddy. I don't know if you remember that guy.
I don't think I ever
he was
saw
like an
that.
actual like production guy, right?
Okay.
And he did the craziest like Collodi cosplay for
I remember that.
for Gen Con.
I remember that. That thing was wild.
That was the craziest shit I've ever seen, right?
Yeah,
And
that was like
guy,
movie studio quality. Like
yeah, because he
like-
actually did work for production studios, so he could do shit like that.
That's
And
so cool.
he was at he was at Gen Con that year.
Okay.
And he was like, Saylor?
What the fuck? That's amazing.
He like surprised me because I didn't know who it was in the costume, and like Collodi goes up to me and like all four of his arms come up over me. He's like he's gonna swallow me up, and then like, hey Octave, how's it going? I'm like, oh dope man, what's up? And then he's like, Saylor?
He knew by name at this random convention in Indianapolis. Like, what the fuck?
So Saylor buys this crazy jacket, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then come to find out, like by buying the jacket, he like ran out of money to go home. Like he wasn't gonna be able to make it home, so he sold the jacket.
Great.
He sold the jacket and then made it home. Like what?
Shit. Dude, I can't live my life like that. Like, I like to think that I'm like, oh yeah, I'm pretty cool. Like, I can like, I'm with it. Like, no, I can't like bet my life on a fucking jacket. Like, that's wild.
I'm gonna throw Mark in here.
Yeah, get Mark in here.
He's talking about when Saylor used to post the time when the minute and the hour.
Oh, he would. Dude, Saylor he's a character for sure. Oh man. That's fucking tight, man. I liked Saylor. I thought Saylor was a pretty cool guy.
Saylor's a good guy. You remember when I remember specifically when you were doing Jacobpalooza. And you were talking about it, you're like, yeah, I'm gonna do my thing, Jacob. This was like the morning after Octagon or whatever.
Yeah,
we're like, what's the next thing? What's the next thing we're gonna do? And you're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do Jacobpalooza. And he's like, don't ever call it that. Don't ever call it that. And you're like, why? And he says, oh, because it sounds like Jake is a loser. So don't ever call it that.
I do remember that conversation. Holy crap. I actually do remember that conversation.
Yeah. Well, you were pretty hungover and you still...
I just re-experienced like the trauma of the splitting headache that I had while we were having that conversation. Like, I do remember him saying that. Like, it sounds like Jake is a loser. And I was like, I told him, I was like, dude, you're reading too much into it. Like, it's a fucking cool name.
Like, I'm still gonna fucking call it that.
I'm still gonna call it that because you know what? If anybody shows up to that, Jake is not a loser. So we'll find out, motherfucker. I'll see you and I'll raise you.
Hey, what's up, Mark?
Mark, my boy. What's up, dude?
The audio head on. Hold on.
Please allow.
Is that a system?
Dude, Mark, what has it been like? Fucking 6 years, dude. Or no, I probably saw you at Kingdom Con when, like, a couple years ago.
I think you guys were at the Kingdom Con like 2 years ago, right?
Yeah, I feel like I saw you at Kingdom Con a couple years ago.
God damn it.
I know
You're coming
for
through clear, dude.
I know for a fact you guys were both at Kingdom Con
Wait, is it coming through?
2015.
I can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. It's just not giving me like feedback stuff.
Loud and clear, girl.
Okay. Yeah. Last time I remember seeing you was at that Kingdom Con when at the end of one of the days you and I were like blitzed.
Well,
At the end of one of the days? What is
That's
Kingdom Con?
not-
4 days? Kingdom Con is just a blur and a bender. Like that's
Well,
what Kingdom Con is. Kingdom Con is
I will never
That's what
forget.
Kingdom Con was. Jesus Christ. It's like losing a fucking loved one. I have to like change my entire lexicon to like accommodate the death of this fucking thing.
Well, I remember you, Rory, and I were playing this like Rory would describe a picture using vague words, and then we'd have to pick it out of like cards. But you and I were both so gone. They would like describe a triangle, and we would pick out a rectangle instead.
Yeah, that sounds like Kingdom Con. That's a
Yeah.
really good description of Kingdom Con. Describing a rectangle and picking out a triangle is a fantastic description of Kingdom Con. Kingdom Con is my favorite con of all time, bar none.
Yeah.
Love it.
Not gonna
Kingdom
argue that.
I can't remember the first Kingdom Con we went to, but I think that
I
might be
totally remember that shit, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What year was it? Well, what I'm saying is I can't remember specifically what year it was. It's all kind of a blur.
I want to say it was 2011.
Okay.
I think it was 2011.
Because
But
that's
that
the other
was
thing
like-
I was trying to think today is like what years was SoCal Malifaux? Because without the Facebook to ground it, I don't know. This is just this weird transient time where like things were moving really fast. There was just a lot of lights and sounds and like noises and money was being exchanged and like people were like doing stuff. It was fucking wild, man. It was like...
I'm actually pretty shocked that you don't remember the first Kingdom Con because I think that was pretty life-changing for you because we went to Kingdom Con, right? And by that time, I think you and I had worked a couple of strategic cons. So we were used to strategic con. Like, okay, we're gonna set up, fucking nerds show up, we're gonna play our games, we're gonna get drunk by ourselves, we're gonna pass out in the room, right?
Right.
Kingdom Con rolls around and we set up like that during the day, like it's business during the day and you party at night. But we show up and the convention organizer, Ross, is already drunk.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay. No, I do remember that. I remember showing up and Ross is blitzed and he's holding like a fucking like tusk in his hand that he's drinking out of, like a giant horn. And I'm like, oh wow, this is really a different vibe.
Yeah. And he jumps in this giant chair and he's like, yeah, we're gonna set up a camera here and then we're gonna do confessions of a convention organizer. Do you remember that shit?
I do remember that. I do.
And you were like, oh my God, that's what it's like to host a convention. That was because we were a culture shock. Like we're like, what's the protocol? People are already
we came there ready
drunk.
to fucking go. Like we were a well-oiled machine.
We were like business.
We blitzed all night.
And then
I don't want to see them get another yard. It was like fucking done.
And then I did one thing at the first Kingdom Con we ever did. I did one thing that I would never ever do at a Kingdom Con ever again, which was it was like 1:30 at night. Right? It was 1:30. No, we were playing like a midnight Malifaux tournament or something. I was running.
Oh, I remember our first midnight Malifaux, yes.
And then the guys from across the room, like there's like a pack of dudes. I think I want to say they were the Game of Thrones players or whatever.
Yeah.
But the guy comes across, like the whole pack of them, they come across the room and they're like, hey, you're Octave, right? And I'm like, yeah. Like, we heard about you, man. You're fucking righteous. Come have a drink with us. And I was like, oh, I'd love to, man, but I'm hosting a tournament. And the look on this guy's face was like, what the fuck did he just do? Like what?
Yeah, like
What,
you
what do you
disgraced
what did
his
you mean?
ancestry.
Yeah,
Like
like I
you,
just
Slapped his
like I
mother.
just like shat on their graves or like
Yeah.
and
Oh
because I
yeah.
didn't like we didn't know the protocol.
We didn't know
or
what
anything.
it was. We didn't get it
Yeah,
because we
and
were
then,
used to fucking working for like 48 hours straight during
yeah,
these things. Because we
and
had done
so
Strategicon. Strategicon's fucking dope. Love Strategicon. Kingdom Con, completely different beast.
yeah, but so anyways, like I didn't realize what I had done to this poor guy. And then the next year, like I made up, I showed up. I'm like, hey man, I'm sorry, that was my first Kingdom Con. I don't know what the hell is. He's like, oh, don't sweat it, bro. But come have this with us right now. And it was like 12:30 in the
Oh
afternoon.
yeah.
He's like, nah, okay, we'll just make up for we'll fucking do it right now.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you just drink some weird shit
Yeah.
that has some creature living inside it. Like
And
it's just what you
yeah.
do at Kingdom Con.
And everybody there has like they have like a 3-minute spiel on what this drink is. I'm like, just give me the drink.
Right. It's so
And
weird. It
they're
is
like, look, man, so like my cousin, right? He's originally from Oceanside, but he lived in Ohio for a while. We made this shit in his bathtub. Then we took it down to Mexico. Then this fucking Mexican chemist, he did this shit to it. And then he brought it back to us. I'm like, what is this called? It's called lobster fucking eyeball. And you're
Yeah.
gonna drink one with it. And I was like,
And
yeah.
then you drink a lobster fucking eyeball, and then it's like you wake up in your bathtub at 3 a.m. and you're like, oh my God, I'm covered in vomit.
Yeah. Do you remember? I remember there was one Kingdom Con where you were running a midday tournament,
Mm-hmm.
but we went at it the night before. Like we went at it pretty hard.
Yeah.
And you were hungover as fuck like the next day.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And you're like we're gonna take a quick break, gentlemen. And you went back to the hotel room and like puked and then laid in bed for like half of the next round.
I do
and then
remember
came
that.
back and just resumed the tournament. Like, yeah, we're good.
Yeah.
You just picked it back up.
I do.
Kept
I
going.
do remember that. And actually, what you guys don't know is I drove to Chipotle and I got Chipotle and I ate it in that time as well. Nowadays, in modern times, I would have just had it delivered to me and everything would have been fine.
Right.
But then, the fucking boomer that I am.
These are the days when you didn't just phone everything in.
No, but that's hilarious. I remember a Strategicon where we partied pretty hard the night before, and the Sunday we were like, nobody's gonna want a demo. Early morning Sunday, it's not even gonna be a problem. Everything's gonna be fine. We're just gonna tear down. We're gonna go home. It's gonna be a relaxing Sunday. And I was so hungry. I think that was the night that we tried to walk through a Burger King.
Oh yeah,
I threw in
through the Carl's Jr.
in full steampunk gear, and they turned the lights off. They turned the fucking lights off at the LAX Burger King drive-through.
Yep.
And the next day, some couple who was, had a layover long or their flight was canceled or something. They're like, hey, this looks interesting. Well, tell me about this game. And I was like, Jesus fucking Christ. Okay. And I remember your wife coming up like so nice, like handing me a cup of coffee, like, here you go. And I was like, thank you. Oh my God. And I looked at her and I looked at you and I was just like, thank you so much. You just saved my life. I was inches from death. That may be the closest I've ever come to death. That was
wow.
I mean, we had fun at Strategicons too. Do you remember when we found the money in the ATM machine, but we were so blitzed that I was convinced that John Quinones was going to come out and tell me I was a bad person if I kept it.
Yeah.
I was convinced that John Quinones was going to come out and lecture me about how I was a bad person and I was going to have to explain why I didn't give the money back. So I gave it to the guy at the front desk and he was like, cool, thanks, man.
Yeah, I remember you gave the guy the money and then you came back out to me and like we were walking past the lobby, and and you're like, yeah, I gave the guy the money. I'm like, so you just gave a person money?
I just handed a man like $300 cash, and I was like, huh. And then literally the second the cash exchanged hands, I was like, I'm the biggest idiot alive. This is not a smart move, and I am going to regret.
And John Quinones was like, turn off the cameras. No.
Yeah, John Quinones just like we see his crew just fucking bolting out of the thing. They're like, oh my god,
God damn it.
Like, we didn't
Just like-
expect this.
They're
This
just
is
mad.
bad TV. Fucking Jake.
I think what I'm gonna miss the most about Kingdom Con is Barley always getting like the best food.
Dude. Fucking John Bartley,
Yeah.
another fucking staple of SoCal Malifaux.
Yeah,
Motherfucking guy. He was the man. Oh my god. We had so much fucking good times in SoCal Malifaux, dude. The fucking crew. Oh my god. You know, okay, something I've been wanting to ask all night.
right.
Octave, do you remember the first time that we hung out before we had SoCal Malifaux, before anything? Do you remember the first time we hung out at GMI Games?
I want to say yes, but I would be lying. I really don't. I don't.
I know you're gonna. I'm happy about that, honestly, because I know you're gonna remember it when I remind you of this. Like, I forget where it was, but you and I met somewhere. I can't remember if it was a store or if it was a convention or something. But I was like,
Okay.
hey man, like, I like bought all this Malifaux shit and I painted it, and like I don't know what to do with it because I have no one to play with, and like I can barely understand the rule book. And you were like, yeah, sure. Well, I play at GMI Games. And I was like, oh, yeah, I know GMI. Like, I played 40K tournaments and shit there. And so you gave me your card.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, cool, man. Yeah, like next weekend, whatever. Let's hang out. And
this is before I made gaming cards. Like, you probably just got my actual
I got your business card. Yeah. I got your business card. I still remember it. And so I remember calling you that day because we didn't talk at all up until then. And I was like, oh shit, this was like 2 weeks ago. I hope this guy remembers that like we're going to meet up and play games. So I called you, and the thing that I remember, the thing being super embarrassing, because I was like already at GMI basically. I was like, hey, and I remember you answered the phone. You're like, hello? And I was like, hey, Octave. Like, and you were like, yeah.
Yeah, because at that point I was like, this person's a telemarketer. Or
yeah, you didn't give a fuck, and I was like, hey, I'm almost at GMI. Like, you still want to play Malifaux today? You were like, oh yeah, I'm already here. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. Like, I was like, oh, okay, cool. Well, I'll just head right in when I get there. Like, I'm almost there. I'm like 10 minutes out. Like,
yeah, I immediately distrust people if they fuck up my name on the phone. I'm like, who the fuck are you?
Octave. I was like, I remember looking at the card and I was like, oh shit, like this is a tough one. I was like, and I'm white. Like, I'm gonna fuck up any name that's not like John. Oh. Oh, here we go.
Yeah. I remember we met Mark in LA.
Yep, at Strategicon when it was at that wasn't the Westin. That was the hotel after the Westin, before the one it's at now.
The Sheraton.
I have no idea.
Was that Sheraton?
I think it was the Sheraton.
Yeah, because the miniatures area was in that nice little alcove.
No, it was just like a part of the lobby.
Yeah.
They were just like, what, are like 20 people showing up to this fucking thing?
Yeah.
Like, here, you can have something outside of the gift shop. Like, it's no big deal. Like, between there and Subway's fine, right?
I don't remember the names of any of those hotels. I just could tell you what the restaurant looked like.
Oh,
that's
dude,
the only way I remember those.
I get a weird
hotels.
nostalgic feeling when I go to LAX now. I'm like, oh, like, am I gonna go play some games right now? Nope. I'm gonna go fucking maybe get coronavirus.
Yeah.
Yeah. A few years ago, I was picking up one of my friends from the hotel, or not from the hotel, from the airport. for because they were flying in from Oregon, and just looking at the hotel, I was like, man, I should be here to play Malifaux.
Yeah, man.
I went into that Carl's Jr. that's across the street from the current hotel, and it was still packed with just
Wow.
Oh yeah.
random people.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, it's a Carl's Jr. at LAX. Like it's gonna be packed always and forever. Like that is the greatest business decision ever, opening a fast food restaurant, minutes away from one of the busiest airports in the country. Like,
And minutes away from like 25 different hotels.
yeah, but you know
Mhm.
what they won't do? You know who they won't serve?
They won't serve
You know who
guys in
they
steampunk
won't
that
serve
walk-
is two guys in steampunk gear trying to walk through their drive-through at 2:30 a.m. That's who
Well, I'll
they
never forget when Octave was wearing his Hell Dorado shirt and we were waiting in line. And he had a security guy there. I was like, "Oh, you've been waiting," and he went behind to personally
Yeah.
our food.
Dang,
I
nice.
thought I was in trouble or something because he looked pissed. Like he's like, "How long have you been waiting for your food?" And I'm like, "I don't know, like
No, it turns out you were a VIP.
like 10 minutes." And then and he goes like behind the counter, like over to the kitchen and just like makes that shit happen.
Wow. He went back and made it himself. He was like, Jesus Christ, I know the fucking recipe. Like, let's just do this.
It's like this
It's
man
just
taught me
chicken
Malifaux.
bake.
He's
We
like,
need
you
to
just
go."
microwave this and you're done. Damn, man.
That was some
Oh my God.
crazy-
We had so many good times. So many good times. SoCal Malifaux. Things
Yeah,
were
and
fucking
that
crazy. Do you remember Matt? Do you remember that dude?
yeah. Actually, when I got back into third edition, that fool messaged me on the weird site.
No way.
Yeah. He was like, because I put a post up there like, "Hey, I'm trying out third edition. I'm really enjoying it, whatever." And I was like, nobody will remember me from this site. It's been
Did
I'm
your
safe.
account still have all the like big dick stuff that was attached to it? Like,
I'm not sure what you mean by that. Like,
did it show that you were like the guy that like ran the world like 10 years ago?
no, it still had the logo, like it still had the SoCal Malifaux logo as the avatar, but I don't think that meant anything to
Probably not.
the
Yeah.
people.
No,
that
it
looked
probably.
at it.
I mean, it doesn't mean anything now.
Yeah. But yeah, so I posted on there.
Unless you
I
were
was like-
there, man.
And he was like, "Oh man, Octave, how's it going, man?" And apparently he was still playing. I guess he was like, "Yeah, that they play, up in the valley or whatever." And then I didn't hear from him since. He's like, "Yeah, we'll totally get together and play a game," and then just never. I don't know what happened.
That's pretty cool. He's still playing though, because I remember
Yeah.
that dude. He was really into it, but then his career took him in a different direction too. He became like a campaign manager for like serious politicians in the area or something. Like,
Wow.
yeah,
Huh.
like,
Yeah.
so.
Well, that's
Yeah.
wild.
And then he just disappeared. Yeah. I remember I'd meet him up in Pasadena. We'd play. And then, yeah. Fucking wild, man.
It's crazy. I know for like at least 5 years out. Well, no, that's not true. It still happens like once every year or every other year. Just some random person will walk up to me and be like, "Hey, Octave, how's it going?" And I'm like face blind. I won't know who's like, "Oh yeah, man, how's it going?" And he's like, "Yeah, you don't remember me, but you taught me Malifaux like, 7 years ago or whatever,
That's amazing.
however long
dude.
it was."
That's so
Well,
cool.
that they have to narrow it down.
And people still remember you too. Like people are like, "Yeah, Jake." You're like, one of the things that like at CQ, one of the first questions I got from people that went to that M3E event was like, "Is Jake playing too?" Is Jake playing too?
That's pretty cool.
I'm like, well, I talked to him. I'm like, he's supposed to learn the game at some point. We're gonna get together in game. And they're like, "Oh, fucking A, man, yeah."
That's oh man, that's
That's
fucking
crazy.
tight. Dude, that is crazy. That's wild.
It's crazy because this
That's
is like
fucking
almost
crazy.
10 years ago.
It's almost
Yeah.
10 years ago. It's like something that like I always assumed it's like, oh yeah, that was a big deal in my life. Like I dedicated my whole fucking life to it. I never thought anybody gave a shit but me and you. Like
Right.
and Lizzie by proxy. Like, like, she was just like, God damn, like this guy's gonna be the father of my children. This is what he's fucking doing. Like
Yeah. That is one way to put that. She was laughing about that the other day. She's like, I helped you promote that damn.
That's so funny. Man.
It's like,
and your kids are cool. I remember when was that? When we hung out like a couple years ago. I got to meet your kids.
Yeah.
Fucking cool kids, man.
Dude, my 6-year-old, he does the
6-year-old. That's fucking
he
wild.
He does
to
the
hear.
fucking gaming. Like he's gonna learn God tier this week. Like he's painting up a God tier warband and
that's so fucking cool, man. That's awesome, dude. Hey, congrats, man. I remember when you guys had them, and I was a little bummed out. I was like, dang, like that's it now. Like this guy was my buddy, and now he's done.
It was well, no, we had that. I remember like one time we had this we had like an actual like serious conversation one time, and when we were walking around, it was a convention, and you were like, dude, are you sure you're gonna do this? Are you really gonna do this?
That was like the most selfish conversation I've ever had in my life.
Really.
I was like,
no, I don't look at it that way. But you were like checking me, like, are you, because this was like we were living the life, and I'm like, no, I'm gonna go have a kid now, and but you were like you wanted to be sure, like I wasn't just fucking around.
Yeah.
And you're like, are you sure? You want to give all this up?
All this up? We acted, oh my God, we acted like we were fucking Tony Montana. Like, what the fuck? That is honestly one of the funniest sentences I've probably ever uttered in my life. Like, are you sure you want to give all of this up? Like all these sweaty geeks just like groveling at your feet? Like, do you want to give this up? Come on, man.
But what was so cool about that though is like, because I was like, yeah, no, I'm like, yeah, I'm ready. We're gonna have kids now. And you were like, all right, man, that's fucking great. That's awesome. Like that was like a good night for us because we were like, okay, yeah, this is good.
Well, I knew you guys would be. I mean, I've worked with kids and shit, and like I've seen a lot of family outcomes and all that kind of shit. And like, I know that you guys are.
Shit.
Oh yeah, I know that you guys would be amazing parents. So I was like, okay, if that's what they're gonna do, that's what they're gonna do, and like, fucking more power to you. It's like, yeah, if more people would produce offspring that like would fucking take care of it, then yeah.
Like we actually had a plan.
Oh yeah, and yeah, you actually had a plan. Like, and Lizzie is like, fucking like Johnny on the spot with these fucking kids. It's like, like she knows kids. Like, you guys didn't just go in like half cocked. It's like,
But and the thing was, and then the discussions I had with her are like, she's like, please don't. And I think I told both of you guys about this, and she was like, please just give him the chance to have a normal social life. Like don't just voice this shit on him, right?
Who,
don't
Jake or your kids?
My son.
Oh, okay.
She was like just let him. Let him have a give him a chance. Like, let him be. I'm like, I won't show him any gaming shit. I won't.
Oh yeah.
And he was the one that he was 3 years old, and he was he knew the difference between a model and a toy, and he knew.
Nice.
He knew how to roll dice, and he was the one like, Daddy, I want to learn how to paint minis, and I'm like, okay, you need to learn how to.
That's
gotta in the potty. That's gotta shit in the potty, cool. And then
But that's gotta be pretty cool, man.
Yeah.
Like that's a cool fucking feeling, right?
No, that's an amazing feeling. Like when and when he paints minis, like just the pride. Like, oh my God, my kid just painted this shit.
That's so awesome, dude.
Like he painted.
Yeah. You know what? Hey, cheers to that, brother. That's fucking cool. He painted these
froglodytes the other day. It was awesome.
He painted that?
Yeah, he paints.
Dude, that's fucking
good
good
all the time.
Dude, that's dope. He's 6?
Yeah, he's
you
working
fucking
on
kidding
this
me?
guy right now. He's working on Half Tusk right now.
What the
So-
fuck? He waters down his paint?
Well, I teach him how to do that kind of stuff.
Dude, when I was
Wait,
6, I would like eat the paint. Like, that's fucking amazing,
This
man.
is actually
That's-
let me show you guys. Like, this is probably the best one he's done, and this is like all stuff he's been painting during quarantine. But like he painted this dope like swamp raptor thing. And he's like, yeah, I'm gonna give it spots and shit. And I'm like, oh, that's awesome.
that's really cool,
it's-
man.
Yeah. So
Your 6-year-old kid painted that shit.
yeah, I'm like
That's, you know what?
I'm like
man?
swollen with pride, dude. Like that's like okay.
Honestly, that's really fucking cool. Like, that
Thanks.
is really, really fucking cool. Damn. Cheers to that, brother.
Yeah.
That is some of the coolest shit I've ever seen. You know what? If I could talk to that guy who like asked you that serious question, 6 or 7 years ago, I'd be like, dude, shut the fuck up. Like, you don't know what you're talking
Nah,
about. you selfish
his heart was in the right place. No, he was just making sure. He's just checking. He's just checking to make sure that I was serious about it. No, I mean that's a real thing. People be like, I want to have kids, and they're not serious about it. Like they don't understand,
Yeah.
what a big leap that is. So
Yeah.
I get that.
Oh
right?
man, that's so cool though, man.
But yeah, he's
That's awesome, dude.
it's
That's gotta
awesome.
feel awesome.
It does. Like I'm pretty proud of that kid. Whatever whatever he does. He's got great taste in games. I'll just
Oh man, isn't it great to know that you got one on lock? Like whatever the second one does, fuck him. Like.
Oh, the second one. I'm pretty sure the second.
Just kidding.
My
I'm just
3-year-old.
kidding. Sorry.
It's funny. The Air and the Spare. He's the other kid. He's not going to be a gamer. Like
No,
that's pretty
no.
sure. He's just that kid's just to wreck it. He's just there to wreck shit.
Dude, I
like his
literally
life.
remember a conversation you and I having where you were like, oh yeah, if I ever have a son, like he's gonna have to kick a football through some he's gonna have to kick it through a thing before he goes out. It's like, oh yeah, all right. You were like, I'm gonna be like Tiger Woods, daddy. Like
Yeah, like he's got to be because I'm like, yeah, I'm like the Asian parent kicking in. Like, already have their careers picked for them.
Oh my god, that's so
You're gonna
funny.
be NFL kicker.
No, man, but I
just-
dude, you're a good. It seems like you're a good dad, and it seems like you and Lizzie are fucking amazing parents. So congrats.
Yeah,
man. That's
trying.
fucking tight, man.
Hey, what's up, Sean? Sean's in the chat. Going
Sean,
But yeah,
what is up, Sean?
that's probably been one of the things that's kept me sane during quarantine is like I have one person to game with at least. Like I feel bad for people that like that they have to. I guess there's Tabletop Simulator. There's all the there's Vassal. There's all that other shit.
Oh my god,
Yeah,
I could never get Vassal to work. You need like more advanced degrees than I have to fucking play Vassal. But-
For like a week, I was feeling like, I guess a little cabin feverish. Then I just started playing like online games with people. I realized
Mhm.
this is what my life is normally.
Uh,
This is what I do with my free time anyway. Why is
Yeah.
I was made for this moment.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I get bummed out and I get
Mhm.
anxious and I freak the fuck out. But it's like, then I think about like, Anne Frank lived in a goddamn fucking cupboard with no internet for
all this?
2 years. So it's like, I can fucking suck it up in my 2-bedroom apartment with like access to infinite amount of entertainment. Like,
Yeah.
so it's like,
Well, this whole thing is like cemented what I've always done anyway, and that's just knowing when to turn the news off.
oh yeah. Well, that's why
Like-
I don't subscribe to cable, so I
Mark-
don't have to hear anything.
Mark was made for this moment. Oh, hey Sean. Yeah, if you want to hop on, sure. No weird fans, please. No outside sounds.
I can honestly
I'm not
say
picking
no.
on Sean, but the last time he did actually. I'm like,
Oh,
"Brrr."
Sean, my boy, my incredible boy. Sean, if you want to hop on, motherfucker, like I would love to chat with you, dude. I haven't seen these fucking people in so long.
Well, I don't. This isn't the Sean that you know though. I'm pretty sure
Oh
you don't know
well.
this Sean.
Anyway, Sean, I'm gonna treat you as if you are. So
I bring up memories that you don't actually remember.
This
You know
is
what, Sean?
this is Jake, and everybody's Jake's best friend. That's just how it works.
Everybody's Jake's best friend after 10 p.m. You-
That's me drunk too. Everybody's my best friend.
I
I'm
Like-
not even drunk
Oh,
yet,
you set up
motherfucker.
a-
I've been cutting back. I'm a good boy.
Like,
I am. I went on like a quarantine bender for a little bit, and then I put my life in perspective, and then I
Oh,
turned
good.
it back. I bought a rowing machine. You know what the irony of this fucking thing is? I'm in the best shape of my life, and I haven't left my house in 3 weeks.
That's awesome. I've been going the other way, so I've been consciously doing more exercise.
Yeah, man.
The
Yeah.
clothes are feeling tight, and I'm like, nah, fuck that.
No,
So-
dude. Yeah, I got rid of the love handles. Everything's tight. We're gonna fucking get this shit on lock. We're gonna do it. Everything's fucking cool. And I'm gonna drink less. I'm gonna be like present in the moment and all that kind of fucking shit. You know?
Like you dropped a lot of weight though.
Oh,
prior
I was
to
a
this.
big boy when I was doing SoCal Malifaux, man. 2012, 2011, those were bad years for Jake.
Dude, so you have like your Amazon Fire TV or whatever.
Yeah.
It has
yeah.
access to your phone, like your Amazon photos. It put up a photo of me, you, what's his name, Aaron from Bakersfield.
Oh yeah, Aaron Nance, and I have
and
742,000 chins.
and I forget, yeah, and I was like, wow, Jake was big. Jake
I
was
was
a bigger
hefty, man.
dude at that point.
Dude, I don't know if I've ever talked about this with our group. But you want to know how I lost all that weight?
I think you told me about this, but
Yeah.
I'll let you explain it to the.
Tapeworm, motherfucker. I lost
remember-
65 pounds in 2 weeks. I almost got hospitalized. They thought I was dying. They thought I was fucking dead as disco. I didn't work out a day in my life. I went from 250 pounds to like a regular weight for my size and body. I'm not a big guy. Like I fucking handled shit. I am hard to kill.
Well, I remember Billy
What's up,
telling
Sean?
me something like
Hey.
that. But him
What's up, Sean?
being Billy, he
Hey,
built
how's it
up.
going?
Yeah, that was some crazy shit. You told me about that a few years ago. Like when you came over at my house that one time, I'm like, God damn, you got skinny.
Oh yeah, man.
And you're like, yeah, I nearly died.
I'm still skinny. I have a thigh gap like a pretty girl. Like it's fucking ridiculous. I'm a 30-year-old man.
You have a thigh gap like you're a Barbie from the 90s.
Yeah. Shut the fuck up, Mark.
Damn.
Uh,
Damn.
just damn. What's up, Sean? I thought you were a different person, but you are another Sean, and
Another
I
Sean.
welcome you to this
I
chat.
am the one and only. No, there's a lot out there. There's too many Seans in this world. I started realizing
But
that.
you're the only Blade Wolf, Sean.
This is true.
Nice, nice.
Well,
Dude,
I
you
think-
want to know how many Jakes there are? It's like the most generic white guy name ever. Like I started seeing this chick and she told me she's like, Jake is like the most generic white guy name ever. And I'm like, yeah, but you're gonna like
What
are
you gotta do?
What are you gonna do? Like what are you hopefully you'll
You're like,
remember
my
this
name is
one.
Octave. You remember that shit? Here, are you happy now?
Oh,
There.
Octave, yes, of
Yeah,
course.
you just.
Well, the first time Octave referred to Weybulf as Jake, my mind immediately went to, oh, Jake Sokol is going to be, or Sean Sokol is going to be here.
Mhm.
Oh.
Do
You know
have
what I
friends
get
from
every
Russia?
time, every single fucking time, every time I introduce myself to anybody, and this is like 4 years out, still, it's like, oh, Jake from State Farm. I'm like,
Oh, God.
yeah, of course. And I was Jake from State Farm for Halloween last year.
Yeah,
That's
I
funny.
remember. I saw the photos for that. That was awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. So I finally lived up to my namesake, and now, I can just fucking conk out like it's ain't no thing.
Man.
Yeah, I've been doing pretty well. Even
That's
though
good.
that I've essentially supposed to be like 100% cooped up, but in a lot of ways,
Do you
like
have the co? Is that why you got the?
no,
Oh no.
Oh,
it's
shit.
just one of those deals where like I try to limit how much time and how long I'm outside. If I have to go shopping or buy anything, it's just like, okay, I'll be in and out of a store. I know what I want. I just go into the aisles I need and then I leave. That's
Yep.
basically it.
Pretty
But
much.
man, like where I live in Azusa, some people are like, well, it's time to go out and get some food. Bring the kids. I'm like, can you not bring the the people that are gonna be like, I'm good, y'all, but I can act like a carrier.
Right. Yeah. Like, bring the carriers. Let's just get this going. Let's
So,
meet
Well,
Jesus.
it's
In like Laguna Hills, right? There's a big retirement community out here,
Hmm.
right? A lot of old people walking.
Oh
around.
yeah.
None of them are fucking wearing masks.
Mm.
None
No?
of them the old people up here are like, they're like, fuck it, I lived a good life, and they just walk around. They're everywhere.
Oh yeah.
They're out more than they were prior to the outbreak. They were like,
Oh, what's
fuck
what's
this.
that Avengers meme where it's old ass Captain America? He's like, no, I don't think I will. it's like that perfectly describes that situation going on
Yeah,
right there.
there are no fucks given up here.
Mhm.
Yeah,
But the
no.
well,
whole
just a few days, there are people in Palm Springs, which is not too far from where I live currently,
yeah.
Mhm.
protesting like the lockdown down there, and they're like older white people with white hair.
Yeah, they're just
Protesting
like
the lockdown.
they're like
I'm about
fuck
to
it.
have an M2E freak out rant right now. Like,
Uh-oh.
this is
Okay.
fucking shit. No, I'm not gonna do it. But it's like
Yeah.
I work healthcare adjacent. Like, I know all of my colleagues are like doctors and nurses.
Yeah.
It's like just before this fucking thing started happening, I started seeing a nurse, and it's like all of this fucking shit. And it's
Mhm.
like, it's just a slap in the face to these fucking people. It's like,
It is.
God damn, man.
Okay. It was good. It was good. It wasn't but yeah, it's
I'm
crazy.
never
when
gonna do
like,
another
they
M2E
don't
freak out because I
'cause-
live in the
'cause
professional
that
world now. But this,
Yeah.
I can't.
that edition it's over now. It's good.
It's over
We
now.
don't
That
have to
was
worry
my
about it.
COVID-19.
M3E is an actual playable.
Knock on wood. Jesus Christ. If I die of COVID-19 now, it's like, hey, we got him on recording saying this shit. Everything you say can and will be used against you in the court of karma.
Court of karma. Karma, she's a fickle mistress.
That bitch.
She'll kiss you on the mouth and slap you on the ass and then tell you go die in a corner. And you're like, whoa, hold on, karma.
I actually have a pretty fantastic quarantine karma story.
Oh
All
boy.
right.
So I placed an order with Total Wine, right, to be delivered. And I ordered my usual, 2 1.75 liter bottles of Jim Beam and
Okay.
a case of beer and some tequila, and it gets delivered and everything's cool. And I open up the box, and inside the box is $100 bottle of champagne.
Whew.
Nice.
And I'm like,
Hello.
lucky me, happy days, right?
Mhm.
Next day, I place an order with Vons for some groceries. And, a couple days later, the order comes and there's a bunch of shit missing. I'm like, where's all the rest of my shit? He's like, I don't know. I added up. It is exactly the same price as the bottle of champagne.
You're
Wow.
missing exactly $100.
Well,
That's
I
funny.
mean, I rounded up. So it
That's
was
funny.
like it's fucking weird. Like it was like $83 or something.
Man,
And
talk
it's
about-
it's like, oh my God, like what the fuck? And I was like, oh shit, karma's real. Everything I thought was a lie. I consider myself a scientist. I'm
Here's what
done.
That's some
here's
equivalent
the
exchange.
supernatural shit that I experienced was 2 days ago. I had a full blown like graphic deja vu, like exact like lock deja vu, and I was like,
Mhm.
whoa, what the shit? Like, and the craziest thing is, when you have a deja vu, your mind remembers the circumstances you're in, and I had
Yeah.
the original. So the original sequence, as I saw it, was like probably 3 or 4 years ago, and it was like me and my
Mhm.
son are playing this game called Shadows of Brimstone.
Oh,
I'm
cool
building
gig.
models for him, and I'm homeschooling. I'm helping him with homeschool because there's a pandemic,
Mm-hmm.
and that exact thing happened. And I
Yeah.
like froze in place. And I was like, "Whoa, fucking deja vu!" And my son's like, "What is that?" And I had to try, and I tried to explain to him what it was.
Oh man.
And I'm like, I'm not a spiritual guy or anything like that. But when you have shit like that, and I'm convinced everybody has had at least one of them, right?
Oh yeah.
Everybody's had one. And when you have one, you're trying to figure out, okay, does this mean like, did your consciousness like read time code,
Mhm.
in advance? I'm trying to think of like a more of a metaphysical answer to it than a spiritual one.
Yeah.
Well,
And I've had two since the quarantine. I've had two different ones, and they were both me and my son doing like things that you just, that because no one would conceive that this is our life.
Mhm.
Well, of course, yeah.
Last
Yeah.
December, nobody was like, this is what your life is gonna be now. But I had these deja vus like for the last 2 weeks,
Mhm.
and I'm like, wow, that's crazy. Like my brain or something picked up that life would be very strange at this point.
That's
Yeah.
interesting.
I mean, that stuff does kind of happen from time to time. Although, like, the ones I usually hate are when they're actually a part of your dreams and you end up, like, having at least a good chunk of it, but then you remember that in the back of your dream, a certain portion of it gets cut out, and you're like, wait, what the fuck happens after this part? And you're
get
like,
hit by a bus.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get hit by a bus immediately.
right?
Well, I had one of those at last anime expo I went to. I was coming back from the hotel after changing. I was in full not the best drag I've ever done, because that was the weekend
Don't
that we
sell
had all the
yourself short,
earthquakes,
Mark.
and that fucked
Don't you
with me.
fucking dare sell yourself short. Next time you sell yourself short, I'll fucking sue you.
Sue me for defamation of
I'll
myself.
sue you for defamation of your own character. Own it, bitch. Let's do it.
And
Own it.
like the night before, I had this dream where I was just standing on the corner, and some random person just said, "Hey, you look good." And then the next day, I'm waiting
Nice.
for like
That's
the cross.
fucking hot.
And these two cosplayers walk up and they say, "Oh, I saw you on the bus. You look really beautiful." And then some random homeless guy thought I was a prostitute. That was that was the highlight of my night.
In like a complimenting way, or like
Well,
like a
what he said was
like
what he said was like, "Hey, I don't remember exactly what it was, but something like, you're like a pretty thing, aren't you?"
You're pretty.
whoa.
And I
Dang,
immediately like
objectifying you like a motherfucker.
the first thing that I did was like I immediately buddied up and like grabbed my like best friend's arm, who I know will in fact fight people.
Nice.
And,
That's a good
like,
best
I
friend,
see
man.
like that was a thing happening, and they didn't ask any questions.
Nice.
Nice. Yeah, just throw hands. Don't ask questions.
Yeah.
Fuck
Get ready
yeah.
to catch these hands. About to throw some pretty hands up in your face.
That's cool. You know, that reminds me of, we've talked a lot about karaoke tonight, but I don't think man, karaoke has kind of changed my life. I'm not gonna lie. And I feel
Alright.
like I wouldn't love it as much if I didn't like do all this shit with Octave. like, like karaoke, I fucking am a fiend for karaoke.
Hell yeah.
Anytime karaoke pops up, I'm there.
Nice.
And I have found myself in the weirdest situations because of my love for karaoke.
What's your go-to for karaoke?
Oh, dude, I will hit up some Whitesnake.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do some Whitesnake or some Def Leppard.
Nice.
I'll hit that shit for karaoke. I love
We-
that shit.
We like to do Push It by Salt and Pepper.
Ooh, nice. That is a good duet.
And we got some respectable Backstreet Boys in there. We do break out some. I Want It That Way is the creepiest fucking song.
It kinda is.
Oh, I will see
Oh,
your "I
man.
Want It That Way." And
That
rate
is
for every breath you
hilarious.
take.
Yeah, well, I mean, Every Breath You Take is very creepy, like directly creepy in a
Oh yeah, that's
stalkerish
like
way.
right in
Mhm.
your face, creepy.
But
Like
but
I
I
am
want it
definitely
that way.
100% stalking you.
I want it that way has layers
Yep.
of there are so many avenues, so many creepy avenues to take that.
Ain't nothing
That
but a
song.
heartache, man.
And when that song, like when I first like saw the lyrics, because you sing it as a joke the first time. And Carrie, you're like, oh fuck that, man, I'm in Backstreet Boys, like ironically.
Yeah.
And then you go up there and you see the words and you're like, this sounds like translated anime song. Was originally the Japanese intro to an anime,
Yeah.
but then they turned it into a real song.
At
And then
Octagon 2012.
yeah. And then so that's your first interpretation of the song, and then you start thinking about, wait a minute, what is he actually asking?
Mhm.
Then you're like, shit, this
Like,
shit is getting
whoa.
rapey.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I was